Hi, how you doing? This is Kenny, Victor Oscar 1 Kilo Juliet Mike. I'm running WPSD, so here you go. This is the new update dashboard or whatever to the replace the Pi Star from w0chp. So far we like it. We've been running it and whatnot. So, anyways, we were actually working on setting up the yaesu2dmr functionality. So I actually have two radios here. One is a DMR handheld, which I've been using initially, but I also have a Yaesu Fusion radio, the ft5. So I wanted to be able to use the ft5 with the DMR, and obviously there is a crossover function that is built into this software. So I'm going to basically just kind of outline a couple of things. It's actually pretty intuitive to set up. I won't say it's easy, I won't say it's complicated, but there are some things that you would want to look at. So anyways, first of all, I'll just go over here to the configuration. Right? So these are things that obviously, we're all familiar with and we've seen before, and what we're familiar with. But here's some of the interesting things here that you're going to want to look at. So obviously right here in our modem configuration, you'll notice that I have the YSF mode turned on. Notice here that I turned off the DMR. So I did that so that some of the other attributes from the DMR wouldn't interfere while we were using the YSF or whatever, and kind of like block the radio. I found that if you kind of went between the two and you had the YSF enabled with the DMR, it was kind of like much the same issue. Like it was, sometimes you would get one or the other to block one or the other if you're getting different calls or whatever. So anyways, what I found the easiest thing to do was basically just turn on one as opposed to the other. So anyways, as you can see, we have the YSF mode turned on. So coming down here, the next one is obviously the YSF to DMR mode, right? So anyways, so far so good, very simple and straightforward. And then of course here is the yaesu system configuration. So we left this the way it was. Don't mind what this says here right now. So it says uppercase host files, FCS. Wires X pass-through. I turned that on and I'll show you why, because it actually did make a difference in how it actually did something with the Wires X for getting the DMR IDs and what have you to come up over the FT5. And that's kind of interesting if you want to do that. So then of course you come down here, and here's where this gets interesting. So this is actually going to hook into your Brandmeister. So there's the server that I use because I'm in Canada, and there's my password. And I added a 3 to this, so 1, 2, or 3. So I have different hotspots. So this is like the third one. So I just put a 3 there, and that'll put a trailing number on the end for when you actually look at on the Brandmeister dashboard. If you want to get an idea of what's going on with your equipment, you want to check your equipment status. So anyways, it'll differentiate between your different pieces of equipment. So another thing I'm going to move on to right here is where the DMR talk group is. I actually set it to 4,000, and that's actually the disconnect group. And it's done that way so that when you do change between groups, it's and you initially start this up, it's actually going to disconnect everything first. So that's pretty much what you want to do. So there's nothing else anyways here on that screen that you'd really want to look at. So to simplify things, essentially, all the radio modes here were turned off except for the yaesu Fusion. And obviously the only other thing was just the fact that right here was the Wires X pass-through, and everything else should be fine. So the next thing you'll see here is this YSF startup host and whatever. So that was part of where we were using part of the yaesu function initially, but it's just done like that in the configuration. It's kind of grayed out. So moving right along. When you come along up here to your dashboard, your admin, all these lovely things, go into your administration. And here you'll see other items, right? So your dashboard, appearance, log viewer, advanced WPSD, and configuration. Down here again, these are the other different items that you want. So you notice here your Brandmeister manager is turned off. That's because we got the DMR side of the hotspot is actually turned off, and we're signing in under the YSF bridge that you've seen in the previous screen. So now when you go into your YSF manager, you'll still see that was there, but I'm going to show where it's actually to, what you have to change. You just keep on going here. You have to bring it right on up here, look, to so it's ysf2dmr, and that's where the link works. So for whatever reason, there's like a bug or something in this, but it didn't actually like stick, or sometimes maybe show that. I'll probably make a liar out of me, but as you can see right over here, the YSF status is linked to ysf2dmr. Okay, so as you can see, everything here is all the green lights, and it's all working, and that is basically it. So from there now, I'll just go back out to the dashboard, and you'll see, of course, there's me, and there's other things there, and what have you. So I have my yaesu radio right here, so here we go. So we can key it up and just see that it's working. Okay, so the next thing that we'll do here now actually is I'm going to turn on the wires X function on the radio. So I'm just going to hold down this button. Oh, and she's locked. I got my radio locked. Come on. I did something silly. Yeah. Of course, anyways, moving right along again, now that we've unlocked the radio. As you'll see that our dashboard is working and everything else. So anyways, about turning on the wires X. So you have to press that button down there and hold it. And there's our wires X. So anyways, we're on top group 30205, which is Atlantic. So anyways, that's basically where we would want to be. So when we want to see the other items here, we can press on that and press on all. And there's our list of all the different talk groups and everything else that we can go into. This is very hard to do with two hands, but just take my word for it that you can actually scroll down through this. And right, those are some of the DMR entries and what have you. So anyways, I'm going to back out of this for the time being and just put in something, of course, like that we would all know. So the big thing here is like being able to directly enter in talk groups without having to program the radio, get in the code plugs and anything else that's really overly complicated. You can search through a list, right? Or if you know what talk groups are and everything else, like I know what this one here is because I was working on that one earlier. So let's say I want to go into talk group 91. So I go here, search, and I can go up here, ID, and I'll just go 0. These are all padded, right? So 0009. Oops, excuse me. Right, this is not the easiest thing to do. You need two hands free to do some of these things. 1. There we go. Now it should be able to enter it. Wait, no. Okay. We're back here again. So as you can see here, this is a 5-digit number, 00091. So I hit enter. And give it a second. And there's
Arizona. And I'm actually
so as you can see, the first thing it does is actually issues a disconnect, and then the second thing that it actually does is the connect for the talk group. So anyways, that's the way that works.
So anyway, I'm glad
so you can hear everything working in the background, and you can see that the station that is talking right now is this gentleman.
Okay, USA KK7 Oscar Charlie November, my friend Robert, Delta Sierra 4 Alpha Papa returning.
So there you go. So that's basically a simplified of a way that I can show you how to get your ysf2dmr working on your radio. So anyways, hopefully it's easy enough and simple enough for people to understand, and never had too many bloopers in my video. But anyway, yeah, it's just a matter of making a couple of settings there, and like I say, just save the profile for it. That was the other thing, right? So I just called it Crossover Profile and save it, and you're good to go. 73 BO1KJM.